And welcome, Random Mania, to yet another race in the 2020 Spring Tournament for Final Fantasy Randomizer. This is Weirdo. Thank you, Caleb. And I am joined in the booth by my co-commentator, Meiji.
How's everything, Weirdo? How's anything? How's everything? Hoping for a good one tonight. What about you?
Absolutely. I mean, these runners are veterans of the community and have been around for a while, but they haven't had the easiest time in this tournament so far. So I'm one of them will get to redeem themselves a bit, and the other one, I mean, they both had unfortunate runs, so we can talk about that as we go through. So I see people asking in the chat about whether this is a draft or not. So can you fill us in?
Even though it wasn't a race channel, it looks more like a draft considering the party composition in Fighter, Thief, Red Mage, Black Mage, and considering both were going with that, yeah, looks almost exactly like a draft. So not sure who drafted what, but it should be interesting to see this combination. As we'll probably see more black magic than white magic. Definitely more black magic than white magic until they find promotion, but it'll be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. And it certainly was a draft, so we can let these runners get going. dem0nfr0g opened with Black Mage, as our tracker Ragnarok is pointing out in chat. Sledge had Red Mage and Fighter, and then Demon ended with a Thief. So that's how we ended this party. This is a party some of our other runners have taken, so it's not that strange. And we'll see how it works as we get going here.
And let's see, they're off. And for starters, with Black Magic, we have... Oh god, Nuke level 1. Nothing else needs to be said. That alone is busted.
Yeah, Nuke at level 1 is great. Heal 2 is white locked. We have Cure 2 for a little bit of healing magic, but nothing that useful. We do get pro rings here in the armor shop.
But they're expensive as anything. It didn't look like there was anything major to actually save on the overworld, but let's see how long the first hero run is. Not that bad. Not that bad. A little longer, longer than normal, better than it could be. So they might. So with encounter manipulation, there's a good chance that we'll see them, power cycling a lot.
Yeah, and we saw that they're both in the Temple of Fiends, both using that level 1 nuke to clear out these early encounters, especially these big packs. I don't think either of them bought a cabin, which was 200 gold, so kind of at the higher end of what you might or might not be able to afford. But certainly something I would have thought about going back and grabbing after that first imp pack.
I mean, it's a little harder to get a hold of considering the cost, but ooh, tent pickup. I hate to say it, but that is a huge pickup.
Yeah, that's when you hop outside and you go save and come back in, and we see dem0nfr0g doing just that, while Sledge heads back to Canaria, hits up the item shop. We're working on the sound on the back end. We only had one runner who had music audible, so we'll get that sorted out.
I mean, it is what it isn't. Bottle, that'll be nice, but not really helpful later on. And oh god, okay, you're gonna see Binky to Crescent Lake to fire on Demon's side, most likely. Early Canoe, that's a toss-up, but very, very, very worth doing since you're right here.
Yeah, and catching a little bit more of that armor shop, we do have iron armor, while Sledge left and went, and he's already taken on Bicky the pirate and his pirate gang, using that nuke to good effect. And it's just a little bit of overkill. These pirates, I think, have in the range of about 9 or 10 hit points. So hitting them for 390 is a little bit more than you need.
Oh, and Oxyl too. That'll be fun. That'll be insanely fun.
Yeah, so the bottle and the Oxyel, not things we're going to be able to use quite yet, but you're right with that canoe. So can you tell us a little bit more about what that's going to mean for these runners?
What that's going to mean is they'll be able to take the canoe, go to and temper level 2, I might add, but they'll be able to use that to get to and exit as well in the white magic shop. But they'll be able to actually use that to go southeast and head over to Crescent Lake. So towards there. So it's going to depend. Looks like SledgeCalamy, not having beaten Garland yet, is probably going to head back over there. I don't know about dem0nfr0g yet as to whether or not he will want to risk it. I mean, it's the type of play that it's just like it's the with a good party setup. And hey, where is the Zeus Gauntlet? Oh, wait,
I think that was right next to that tent that you were excited about.
True enough. And honestly, with levels, I could outright see. Oh, and got a Matoya check coming up on Sledge's side. But since he doesn't have the canoe, it's going to take a bit. But tents for 39 old. Yeah, I'm going to buy at least 2 to 3 stacks of that one if it was me.
Yeah, and just to go back a little bit, yes, these are our spring tournament flags, which many of us are used to, but just in case you're not, we have several incentive locations. We have a rotating incentive that changes with the element. Our element this week is fire. This is the second fire week, and we're finishing up that week before we move on to chaos. We have a loose canal, so these runners are trapped in the inner sea until they gain either the canoe or the canal. That canal will not be at an incentive location, and then we have 2 other loose items that can be anywhere.
Very, very true. You'll see Sledge now going to finish fighting Garland. Hopefully he'll pick up the Zeus Gauntlet as well.
Yeah, if he's checking Matoya and early he doesn't know about the canoe yet, so he is certainly going to check these and try to make his way in. That canal opening up the rest of the world is a very, very important step. And did I just see that reset before that reset from dem0nfr0g?
What? Didn't see.
I think that's imps with damage poison. It's certainly a poison. I think it's damage.
Not sure. There could be worse on that one from them, so.
Yeah, and certainly could be worse. It could be somewhere out in the rest of the world, an encounter that we're going to see more often. But fortunately, we only see imps in this, and then we've pretty much left them behind, as the Space Drake points out.
I'm personally a fan of, if anything truly, truly, truly dangerous is there, having it be in an enemy pack that you see everywhere. Like sorcerers, for example.
Yeah, or mummies. So dem0nfr0g makes it to the dwarves, while Sledge takes out Garland pretty easy at this point, picks up his bottle and his canoe.
Most likely what they'll do is head down, check Elfland, and head over that way to the Crescent Lake, as it makes the most sense considering where our runners are.
Yeah, and certainly we can check out level 3 and 4 magic at Elfland. Well, actually, I think Elfland is probably more likely, at least to check out the magic first before you head east, but either one are reasonable plays at this point.
I mean, most likely demons, doing the right thing, checking Elfland, then probably going to sail immediately east since there's a connection to the river system there. And so, able to work with that. And warp and fire too in the level 3 black magic.
Yeah, so that means both a transportation magic and a sweeper at that same level, so we can put those charges to good use no matter what.
Oh. You want to tell our fans what I just saw, or do you want to say it?
That Invis 2 or the life?
Both. Although that's going to be a little tricky to balance for the red mage,
Well,
because if
he's not going to get to balance them because that life was in a white-only slot.
I forget the slot orders on that one, but still no actual vendor item yet. Though I do know that Sledge did buy some actual houses when he was in Corneria, so
Yeah, these
we will
houses
see
are
that.
dirt cheap.
I'm a fan of this because you have nuke level 1. You want to be able to abuse nuke level 1. Having houses so you can just legitimately just like waste all the charges, and immediately just heal up your spells and just waste them again. It is a great, thing for that one. Harm Ruse being decent on that one for the white magic at level
Well,
4.
yeah, unfortunately it's level 4, so our
Oh,
fighter can't get it.
but Fast Saber and Bane, was that Quad X as well for level 4?
Yep.
I gotta say this much: Saber is going to be bought by the thief if promoted, and at bare minimum, they might consider picking up the Saber on the red mage, but that is optional. But as you see, even doing headed straight over towards Crescent, but I guarantee you will see that Saber picked up by both runners when they find the tail on that thief, because it's basically temper, but it's single target, and it's basically what the power bonk casts.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit stronger. So, Space Drake, well, doing a good job helping us out in chat, explaining how the randomizer takes skills and spells and both moves them around and shuffles them between our enemies. So, as dem0nfr0g heads over to Crescent Lake, Magius, can you explain a bit of that and how that works?
What, via the ribbon, or why they're going to Crescent Lake, or what?
The randomized spell and skill list.
Basically, it takes all the things that that's in the pool that people can learn. Then basically, throws it all together, except for the fiends, the fiend twos. The Temple of Fiends Revisited plus Warmac are in a pool by themselves, so you won't see anything too crazy. So anytime you see like a nuke imp or something like that, and ooh, Ruby, my dad. But that's usually like, there's like a giant pool. If it's, if a spell could be in the normal enemy pool, it's thrown in there and just out there anyway. There's like 2 levels, if I recall correctly. One where it's everything is randomized, where enemies could get each different thing, and the other one is basically based. The scripts are together, but they are kept the same.
Right. There's a flag that I know I was confused about the other day that was uh, made it to where enemies, if they have a script, like if they can cast spells, then they would still be able to cast spells. What spells they cast would have been mixed up. So, and that's another good point is that we have 2 different things. We have both spells and we have abilities. And we'll see that as we go through, and especially as you mentioned, when we get to the fiend fights, we'll see some of those distinctions in terms of what they cast.
Very true.
And yes, Spider, the non-Temple of Fiends have a separate pool.
And looks like Demon's diving volcano already. Sledge being the tiniest bit behind, but is on its way to Crescent Lake now. Let's see. First chest, Silver Hammer. The trap tile, Bulls and Scorpions, not bad, not bad. Not the best tile here for grinding, so, just taking it out for a quick level, which can't fault him. Let's see.
Yeah, he's a pretty low level right now. He's like level 8 or so, so he does want this experience, but he's and with those easy to find nukes, he knows he's got plenty of charges to use up before he heads out. So
And
that's one of our
that's
3 tiles here.
and God, I couldn't remember the names of that, but Trance
They're
on that
they're
one.
burbs.
Yeah,
Birds are jerks.
In all RPGs, they're jerks. I'd make the comment about a few other animals too, but you only get the references depending on the games you run. Like
Yeah, but
dinosaurs.
birds are pretty much always jerks. And yeah, I like to refer to those guys as popcorn chicken, the paralisks, but trance uh, hits the whole party, so there's a chance to stun. They come in large packs, so that is something that you want to avoid at all costs, because even if you get enough levels to or enough gear to lower that chance of it hitting down to something small, because it hits so many times, you're gonna get a lot of stunned characters.
Especially early on. I mean, once you get a ribbon, you get some protection on it. And let's see, we haven't seen the armor yet, so we're getting to that one. Ooh, mucks. I wish they were. Though I'm surprised no one's randomized, done the sprite yet to actually make them look like the Pokemon.
I'm not a big Pokemon fan, so I'm just as happy to not see them ever at all.
Ooh,
I
Mad
remember
Ponies.
right, yeah, they have some resistances that make them not so fun to deal with at low level.
Basically, there's the canal. They have access to the overworld now. So you have the canal now. Where do you go? You have the canal. You have the canoe.
Uh, I think if I'm Demon Frog, I go back to Crescent Lake and save. I hunt for Peeds in the encounter table, and if I can find them, then I get myself up to 12 or 14, and then go down to the bottom. But it looks like that's not what he's doing. So where do you think he's going?
Uh, Probably going to turn on that ruby, check Melmond. Although a lot of people don't like Melmond, but from there we'll probably see them run to. There's going to skip Earth. They're going to skip Earth. That I'm pretty sure on that one. So we'll see them turn in the ruby, get Titanstro, Zardia, leave. Maybe we'll see the Ordeals play. Oh wait, they have Oxyale. Uh, Depending on the levels, you might see them dive the Sea Shrine or at least go check Waterfall because they could clear that out. But that's the real risky play.
Yeah, I certainly agree with you on Melmond is where they're going to turn in the ruby, get those two items rather than just the one that's in Volcano. And and yeah, I mean Ordeals is a great play with ship and canoe before having the airship, because it's going to make it's actually shorter once you get there. You don't have to walk across quite as much um, land and encounter quite as many enemies.
Very true. As I said, more than likely we'll see the Ruby turn in, then over. We'll get the Ruby, we'll get Titan Strove, we'll get Zardia, and depending on what's there, we'll probably see something from there. And ooh, the orcs are snorting.
The ogres, maybe?
Yeah, sorry, the ogres. But yeah,
Yeah.
as I said, we'll see this. Depends on what either of them give. I mean, if the floater's found, you'll immediately see floater turn in. If time is given, it's a toss up. If rod is given, you might theoretically see a check of the earth cave, but that's. I mean, I could also see the check of the earth cave just to see what the trap tiles are. If it's the key, gonna head back to the inner sea and check all those chests, more than likely.
Yep, and Sarah and Space Drake pointing out that this game is heavily based on Dungeons and Dragons, but there were a few changes needed to not be too close. So there's no cloud kill, no stinking cloud, no orcs.
Slab from the
Yep,
Titan.
and making good use of that warp to get out of there quickly. Well, I agree, Sarah, but it's not called Cloud Kill, it's called Bane. So.
So Zarya today was a renegade musician going off to practice. The Titan had the slab. I guess he was reading a book, and we'll probably see the slab turn in and maybe dive into check the first four chests of Earth and into the the trap tiles, especially with Nuke. See if there's anything good. Grind up a bunch. That's what I could see on dem0nfr0g's play.
Yeah, I mean, finding the slab right there in Titan's Drove, you're gonna have to walk back right by Melmond. You might as well turn it in, although that means that he's gonna have to remember that he's got that slab turned in. So, it without floater, you have no access to Lefane. So, yeah, he's got. That's just one of those like you turn it in early, but you got to remember to do it. At half an hour later when you actually find the floater.
Yep, and opting to skip checking the first four chests in Earth Cave, I could see why not, but it's always like you're there. Some runners, outright, swear by checking it for the trap tile shuffle. Some, avoid it like the plague.
And see, I have a very different view of it. I don't think Demon actually did do his slab turn in. So he is headed straight down, and he is headed for the Temple of Ordeals. It looks like with that turn to the east.
Yes, he did not turn in his slab for that one, so he still has that there. Although he did completely avoid Melbot, so we do not know what the level 5 spells are. Although, if he had enough money, I could have said, "Ooh, this is having Stone Touch." Or was that Stone Poison?
Ragnarok, our tracker today, is keeping up with all of this, and he tells us that it's a stone touch. So obviously that's. I mean, he's the man in charge of that. We just get to, blab up here while dem0nfr0g takes a reset all the way back to Melmond.
That was because of his thief getting stoned and by ordeals and no real way to revive them. So it'd be going 3-man, which it looks like SledgeCalamy is already doing.
Well,
Ooh,
it was certainly a long way back. So he's going to save here. So he knows he made a mistake, cost him 20 seconds or so there, but gets back, use those save items, use all those tents that you were saying to pick up, and is headed into the maze.
Also, fun fact: the Peds have glance.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would be too worried about that. So, but of course, if you're going to fight several of them and not use nuke to take them down, or if you get ambushed by them, then that can be more important very quickly.
Oh, very true. I'm just pointing out the fact that we saw our first Pete pack on SledgeCalamy's side, so they're good EXP. So just just knowing what they have, and ooh, Zombles.
Yeah, just a regular encounter here in Ordeals, but dem0nfr0g is certainly putting that level 3 warp to good use, using it every time he makes a mistake in the pillar maze, which is not your vanilla pillar maze. It's not always the bottom choice here.
Ooh,
You
and a
have
very
to
quick maze. I might
resolve
add.
it every time. And yeah,
Also,
uses that warp so he doesn't make bad choices, or his bad choices get wiped out.
I'll also add that Sledge also picked up their canal, so they have access to the outer sea as well. Flame Shield, nice pickup. Black Shirt, and a cabin. So nice. Good caster
Okay, so
item, good defense.
So what does that black shirt do?
It casts one of the level 2 elemental spells. I think it's ice, but I'm not positive. I know it casts one of them. I know it's not fire. I believe what Zeus is. We found one of the Luces too.
Yeah, it does cast ice too. It's and provides protection. I believe it's ice and time. I know it's time. And has some pretty good armor in the end game for that black wizard. And then we found some items there in Ordeals.
A sword and a hammer. Well, we got the top of the
we
Thor's
also
hammer
found a
and the
loose
hammer.
adamant.
Yep. So that's one of the two looses out of the pull. And with that Thor hammer pickup, that's one of the incentivized items out of the pull. And we got a Melmon check on Demon's side. Well, Waterfall,
you mean
but
Onrak, I think. Yeah. He's going to check the caravan first. So he's still hunting for that vendor item, checking the vanilla location here.
I mean, it has a decent amount of money, so could buy it, and not there. So we'll see Waterfall. And now we get a fool of me, because stopping by Onrak first, still nothing there. More than likely will...
Yeah, so now he's going to check Waterfall, but he was looking for the vendor item while he was here before he headed up there, because the vendor item could have been Floater, and then, you want to turn that in as quickly as possible. So that means that Gaia has our vendor item.
Which means whatever it is required of the airship. Although there is an argument to be made about just, even if you find the floater there, you'll still probably check Waterfall since you were there, and you have the, you have Warp and Light Axe pickup for Sledge in the 5 chest room.
Yeah, no, that's fair. You have Warp and Exit, so you have 2 different people who can get you out of there in a hurry. And it is a little bit of step saving. But he wanted to know, so he checked. It's in Gaia, and I think that actually makes some change, or helps us figure out some of the logic here.
It can't be Floater. It can be one of the fetch quest items. It could be the tail rod. We know it's not the slab. There's a handful of things that could be left.
Yeah, it could be a lot of things, but to me what it tells me is that the floater is required, because we have the bottle and we have the slab. So that means that there's only a certain number of items that are endpoints.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'm actually slightly wrong. It's still possible that the floater is not required, because it could be tail, power gauntlet, and opal bracelet. So I was off by 1.
It's cool. But yeah, the floater is more than likely going to be required, unless it's both of those are 2 of the 3 of those. But more than likely that one. And let's see what the vanilla agava tile is today. Gotta love that one.
And certainly Sledge taking a different route down, finishing out Volcano.
Ooh, Ice Sword. Very nice pickup for that fighter on that one. Ooh. Do you see what I just saw?
Yeah, the robot with the chime. That Ice Sword, like you said, it is a great pickup. It's probably the top mid-game sword. I kind of categorize Sun Sword as being an endgame sword, kind of the low end of endgame, but Ice Sword is kind of right there. So that's going to be one of the stronger weapons that fighter can use before promotion.
Oh, very true. Very, very true. I mean, I think it's at bare minimum, like the lowest endgame sword. I agree with you. Is the second lowest one is Here we go. Did you see what Sledge just found by actually digging?
Oh, why don't you tell me?
Nah, I'll let you say it. All
right, so Sledge is going to be very happy he dug out Volcano, because that is the floater.
Yes. I won't say that catapults him into the lead, as more than likely they will warp/exit out. I mean, you're down here, but do you really want to go and try to battle carry? You only have Nuke, and you're still a little low on levels. What would you choose?
I think you check your levels, you check your heal pots, and you check your charges of Nuke. If you've got 6, 8 charges of nuke left, then yeah, you go for Carrie, because Carrie's not going to stand up to that. Right? I mean, there's only a very few things that she can do that'll take out your whole party in a turn. Most likely, she's going to punch you in the face one at a time.
Oh, very true. And looks like Sledge is opting to try, and hey, we get the credits boss on Demon's side.
Bridge boss, hardest boss in the game. He's always going to slow you down. And Demon giving us the Hooray Dwarf 3 times. Hooray, hooray, hooray.
Oh, this is actually bad for Demon. The adamant turned into the crowbar, aka the rod.
I would actually say that's good, because that means that that trip to Ordeals was not a waste of time. That it was actually useful and required.
You. Sledge taking a wipe to carry.
Oh man, I missed a lot of that, but that was not fun. And I'm sure Sledge is regretting not just exiting or warping out at this point.
I mean, this is why my comment was with the floater being that big, of an item, even then, it's just I'd take it, I'd run, go get some more stuff, because immediately once you get back, you could just literally just hop, skip, and a jump through the volcano and just, immediately come back later on. It may take you a little extra time, but overall it does help out.
Yeah, we have some people in chat, especially Sarah, saying Carrie isn't a problem except when she's a problem. She's certainly the first fiend that gives me the most trouble the most often, because I'm usually prepared for Kraken or Tiamat to be nasty. Lich is pretty much a pushover in Randomizer, but Carrie is the one that when she rolls up, she's a handful.
I mean, she survived like I think at least 3+ nukes, and they were only dealing at most like 100 and change to 200.
Yeah, low rolling on nukes certainly doesn't help. But yeah, as pointed out in chat, dem0nfr0g is back down here. He's cleared out Ordeals and Waterfall, found that they were both required, got the chime from the robot, and now is headed to Ice for yet another required, or incentivized location. So he's hoping for a vanilla floater. We know that it's in Volcano, but there could be something useful down here.
Very, very true. Now, Sledge is picking up the floater, and yep, immediately exits. What I could see, choosing the tent it, although, I can completely understand. Carrie wiped the floor of your party. That's what you just want to get out of dodge and just go turn on that floater and immediately go.
Yeah, the tracker is sometimes a little slow, so we'll get it updated here in just a second. dem0nfr0g using that Fire 3 to knock his way through the undead, and has quickly made his way down to the important levels of ice, not just the slow, grindy levels of ice.
Yeah, it's hard to catch everything. Rock. Chime was in.
Yeah, the chime was in Waterfall. Loot was from Sarda. But Sledge has made his way out of Volcano, did not take on Carrie a second time, and has taken your advice and is headed down here to turn in his moon rock for a floating ship for the big whale.
I know that the games have a huge pop culture references with some of these. I don't think this was the start of when they actually named it the Enterprise. I know 5's got one named the Enterprise. 4 does, definitely. Three does as well, but I don't think one has a name for it on that one.
It's just the airship, from what I know. The big whale, I was referring to my very, very minuscule knowledge of Final Fantasy IV, and that's the ship that takes you to the moon, which is certainly not part of this game.
Yeah, although I have to say, it's still, I like 4, especially I'm a fan of 4's The After Years, just because it actually outright strips Final Fantasy 6 of the most playable characters in the game, excluding tactics and the others on that one, but still.
Yep, and so Sledge making these checks a little bit faster than dem0nfr0g because he's got the floater in. So every minute that goes by here, Sledge is making up ground on dem0nfr0g. He lost a lot from that carry wipe, but having the airship first is just giving him some extra time. He's just moving a little bit faster from location to location. He doesn't have to stop, walk, take all those encounters, take all those fights to make his way across.
Yep, and Sledge fed the Roby. Num 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 num. Fed the Titans, so go from there.
Yep, always feed your Titans.
There's the herb. So finding the, I guess in this case, would you call them mushrooms, the herb, the drugs? I'm trying to remember what really would grow in a cave that you would actually want to give to a prince. Also, Lock 2 at level 5 Black Magic. That's actually pretty useful, considering what I can do. And Harm 4 is the best option in White Magic for that level.
What? There was so much better White Magic at that level. There's the best spell in the game, Lamp.
Oh, we found our second loose in ice.
Yeah, so we found that cube, so that is a required item. We only need the key, and we certainly have a number of options. We have 3 things that are floater locked, and then we have that herb and whatever the herb turns into.
Very true. Very, very true.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen in this seed, but I've certainly seen seeds where runners have come into ice, grabbed the incentive item, and then exited out and just completely stayed away from lower ice. And if Sledge does that, I hope he doesn't make that choice and make that gamble because we know that it's wrong.
Oh god, I think depending on the rolls, now it looks like Demon will get away from that one. But 2 tigers and cat and a 6-pack of Catmen tile sort of made me worry that he might actually wipe because they got initiative.
Yeah, when they ambush, and then the Catmen had frost, which was a big deal, and one of his fighter, I believe, got stoned there. So, his party is not in good shape.
Very true. However, at least he does not have to dive ice again once he finishes it. And looks like we'll get to see the vendor item real soon. What do you think it'll be today?
I think the vendor item has to be the tail. Or I guess it could be the crystal or crown. But it's one of those
completely
3.
forgot. They also had the bottle, so this is... Well, there's the crown, so let's see what the fairy gives us.
That is one expensive crown, so it must be decked out, all the jewels, everything else. So we're having a little bit of a technical issue here on the stream, so just hang out with us for a minute while we figure it out.
Yeah, just relax, enjoy our voices, have some fun. We'll try to entertain y'all. I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, any good jokes, Magius?
I could think of a few. I could think of just like it's a joke considering some of the games I speedrun and how much they troll me, but that's a side thing on that one. Looks like we're back, and looks like we're gone again.
So we did not see what was there.
Oh,
No,
Crystal.
it must have been the crystal.
Oh, and Sled's opting to run from the Tyro today.
I don't blame him. He's in key item mode, so he's just trying to make his way down to Lefane and check these items. He doesn't know what's in Ordeals or Waterfall, but every required key item he finds here is one less thing that he's going to have to, one less dungeon he's going to dive at this point.
I mean, he still needs equipment. That is the one thing that he does need, is equipment. The Finnish hospitality, which is exclusive to the randomizer because the Finnish don't have an in or that. Let's see, we get, I think we're in go mode. Well, no mode already.
Yeah, we are in no mode. We have all of the required items. We know that the crown and the crystal are going to turn, and the herb are going to turn into the tail, the opal bracelet, and the power bonk. So nice to have, but not required. And here dem0nfr0g is turning in his herb, and it turns into
the TNT.
The fetch quest continues.
And his chat's pointing out that 240p stream.
Well, it's the internet's been shaky a bit, and yeah, we've been getting a lot more use out of it lately, certainly.
Oh, completely.
So Sledge, back to Gaia. I'm wondering what he's looking for. Is he looking for equipment? I thought he bought the crown earlier.
I'm pretty sure he did. Oh, revival. They don't have life.
Yeah, resets all the way back to Lefane. If you're gonna get that, yeah, I was like, that's a long, long walk for a revive. I would do that on my way to my next location, probably.
Very, very true.
Yeah, he reset way back, and now he's got to fight his way up from Lefane again.
Yep.
Back to his airship, and then I don't know why he reset because he had already put in the time for the walk, but
I think
we'll have to ask him about that. So maybe let's take note of that, and we'll ask him about it after the race if he's up for it.
Sure. I mean, I think it was because he forgot to save, but okay, that fetch quest leads to the power bonk, and Demon not opting to take it.
That's a strange reset out, although maybe he's going to come back with the key and empty the armory at the same time, but still, that power bonk, I mean, you've got temper cast, you've got saber on, for your ninja, but it's still kind of a strange play. That power bonk is can be an essential tool to getting through that Temple of Fiends Revisited if the fiends roll the wrong way.
I mean, I think I know why he did, because he literally had to walk from, oh, by the way, we found promotion in Astos. They're just basically looting, would you call it his corpse? But I don't think he's got a tail. But
so the kindly old king gives us the tail, the rat's tail. Why the silly dragon wants a rat's tail, I don't know, but he's, he thinks you're courageous if you can go to the shop and buy a rat tail. But then that evil dark elf says, "Me change," and jumps out at us and starts attacking us, and that's not very nice. So we have to put him down.
I mean, I could see maybe Bahamut being afraid of rats, but giant dragon afraid of rats. That sort of is like a question mark.
Is that kind of like the elephants being afraid of mice thing?
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
I guess it makes sense. So Sledge making his turn-ins, turned in the those fetch items that he picked up. And dem0nfr0g has returned to Volcano where he knows that the floater has to be in this incentive chest because he's checked literally everything else. And Sledge, putting that key to good use, picks up a mage stick and a whole bunch of money. You know, the king was nice enough to get, well, I guess the king only gave us this, crummy bottle that had a fairy trapped in it. So if he's enslaving fairies, he probably deserves to get robbed. Although I know technically he didn't actually put the fairy in the bottle. It was that one pirate that's not picky. It's not a genie in the bottle. It's a fairy, and Rojo pointing out that we have some other nasty people running around the NES world that catch fairies and stuff them in bottles for undetermined amount of time, only to take them out when they think it's useful. And Sledge headed back up. Okay. I was wondering why he was going back into the treasure islands, but he's going to go promote, head down, as some of our other broadcasters like to say, turn in his paperwork to HR and get his promotion. I think he's, changing companies or something. But dem0nfr0g, on the left side, there is taking out this random encounter. He's got his 2 trap encounters to get through, and then we'll see if he decides to fight the Sahags a second time or if he just warps back and then takes out Carrie. dem0nfr0g picking up his floater and making absolutely certain it's empty, giving us the equivalent of the Rage Slash. Just opening up that box multiple times, so we'll have to ask him about that as he does run right back through. He's running from everything. I guess that higher level thief is between the thief and the black mage. They've got good run chance, and he's going to head on down to hopefully light our first orb of the game. He's doing a little bit of prep while Sledge heads back into his airship with his promoted classes, and he's going to head to Ordeals, which we found out was a required dungeon, but just not required in the way that we thought it would be. On the left side, we have, some light hits coming out, carry hits for about 160 to that thief. Nukes are hitting for 100, 140, hits the fighter for 170 damage, more nukes coming out, and has enough in the tank, gets through carry, lights the first orb of the game, our fire orb, and puts one on the board. And so here comes dem0nfr0g making his way around the turn, back and forth through the chicane, and all the way over. He's going to try to turn in floater. Sledge running into these catmen. Hopefully he's going to get away from them, but he gets turn order, doesn't see their frost and all that nasty stuff they have. And just to make sure, chat, that I'm not talking to myself, I know you're out there. So dem0nfr0g gets into the air, so just make sure that my voice is still coming through if you don't mind. Hi, Spider. Thank you very much. We've had enough technical issues today that I was getting a little nervous. I was just sitting here talking to myself, and it'd be kind of strange to be talking to myself like that. So dem0nfr0g picks up his crown from the shop and heads through the forest. He's going to release the fairy and pick up his crystal. Oh, he already released the fairy. Sledge makes his way through the maze, heads up, finds the Karib trap tile. Not anything terribly interesting. And dem0nfr0g is going to head down to Lefane while he's here and pick up his key. And Steel Golem, you are not wrong. If you release some of those fairies, when they get mad, they get really scary. If you've been to a Renaissance festival, you know what I mean. Some of them are, if you say the wrong thing, they can really, glitter you to death. Horrible, horrible fate. So Sledge picks up his loose adamant, gets his Thor hammer. dem0nfr0g, clearly on the right side of this argument, takes on his Tyro, and it looks like a stake. As we like to call the Tyro stake, they are great experience. They're, big dinosaur bones, and they are delicious when they don't fight back. Red Ankylos, on the other hand, nobody wants a piece of those. They're tough, they're stringy, they're just, even when they don't have something nasty, they are not fun to deal with. So dem0nfr0g is doing these turn-ins. He's going to take the opal bracelet instead of that gold bracelet that he picked up in Melmond. Add another 10 absorb to that black mage who, if anybody needs it, the black mage does. And headed west, gonna turn in that TNT again. Now that he has the key, he can go loot the armory and see what they have. I think he's still looking for an endgame sword.
Have we seen one on Sledge's side?
I don't know that we have. I know Sledge did the Canaria treasury, but I didn't catch him doing much else with that of the key locked.
Ooh, Pro Cape on dem0nfr0g's side, and I mean, Ice Sword can be an endgame sword. It's legitimately like you only want this if you promote and have not found anything else. And ooh, Aegis Shield. Wow, the dwarves actually came up loaded today with that one and a Pro Cape.
Yeah, that's really nice, but again, we're looking for a sword, and the armor, we're not in a great spot, especially until we promote, but we need a katana, we need an X-Cal, we need a Masmune, we need a Sun Sword. I'd even accept a Vorpal. Don't tell anybody I said that.
Hey, someone clip that. Please, someone clip that. I'm sorry, but still, this is the type of one which, it's the worst case, you grind to no end and use the Ice Sword. I mean, it's like in the hierarchy, it is legitimately the bottom of the bottom of the bottom for an endgame weapon, but considering that there have been people that have rocked chainmail all the way to the final boss, Ice Sword isn't that bad.
Yeah, and dem0nfr0g finds a potentially lucrative grind tile here with the Iron Goal.
I know Sledge avoided checking it, but this actually might give Demon a little bit of and opting to leave before grinding on it.
Yeah, it took 2 nukes to take down. It's the other thing he needs to do, he just got his tail, so he needs to promote. So he was just figuring out what's where. He's a little bit past the cusp of where you start getting spell charges on that knight and on that ninja, but he's level 15, level 16. He's not far past it, so he'll want that promotion so he gets those spell charges.
More than likely, he'll get the spell, He'll promote. I forgot. Thor Hammer is actually decent, but I think it's actually less damage than the Ice Sword.
Well,
or Sun Sword, I forget which it is.
What I remember is that the Thor Hammer is White Wizard and maybe White Mage usable, and that's it. So the fighter,
the Knight can equip it.
Things. Oh, Knights can equip it, but not fighters. Okay.
Yep, Knights can equip it, and White Wizards can equip it. The White Mage can't. as I said, it's a decent one, but I think the Ice Sword actually beats it out on that one. But either way, you're right about still needing an endgame weapon.
Yep, so he's looting the Cardia treasury. We know that there's some nice little bits and bobs in here, but nothing terribly interesting, at least not from what I remember from when Sledge came in here before.
Yep. And as we know, wait, is Demon in go mode? I step out
Demon
for a
is
minute
go
and
mode.
he's
He
in
got
go
his
mode.
key in Lethane, and that was all he actually needs. But he wants that weapon, and you know what the other thing is we haven't seen all game?
Apart from Warmac?
Well, we always need to see more mech. We always need to go see Sky. Ragnarok, you're one Sky short, but we have not seen a cute hat, also known as a ribbon.
Oh, very true. I mean, I've gone without ribbons, but it's the whole grind to infinity or make sure you're using a black belt that can dodge everything.
Well, even then, the ribbon helps with things that evasion doesn't help with, right? The ribbon is the one piece of equipment. It's only one absorb, or basically takes one damage off every hit, where things like the opal bracelet takes off 42. However, it gives you resistance against every category of magic that has an element. So that makes
Very
a
true.
huge difference when you get to the two zaps in the fiend pool. When you get to the cracks, all of those nasty insta kill spells.
Quad
You
Axe,
want that.
definitely, and you see Demon doing the world tour to buy the spells. And looks like Sledge. I mean, has Sledge seen both of the? Oh no, wait. Sledge hasn't been to Ice yet, right?
Correct. Sledge has not been to ice. He has not picked up his cube. So he he is certainly at a disadvantage right now. So answering Shubinator's question in chat, who's in a better position? dem0nfr0g is certainly in a better position. They both promoted. Sledge, I think, has an extra level or two, but dem0nfr0g has that extra key item. He's cleared all of his dungeons. He's going to get experience hand over fist here. He's lit an orb. So he's at least one full dungeon ahead, if not. Oh, no, he's two full dungeons ahead.
2.5. Sledge is going to check all. Sledge is going to check all of C. Sledge is going to check all of C. He hasn't seen the
Very
other
good
item.
point. Yeah, see, we're here picking up Temper and Lock. As you pointed out earlier, Lock could be critical when it comes to the Temple of Fiends. It works now, and
Oh,
do you see what I see?
Sun Sword. Lowest endgame weapon, but it's still an endgame weapon.
Yeah, as Ragnarok, our tracker, was saying that yes, you can use the Ice Sword. You can get there with a cat claw. You can get there with a wooden stick, but
You can get
it
there
takes
with a
longer,
Thor's hammer too. I
right?
mean,
And the
you can get a
longer it takes
lot, but
you, yeah, the longer it takes you, the more of a risk you're taking. The more chances those fiends have to get down their spell list, pull out those nukes and nuclears. The the more chance all those other mobs along the way have the chance to knock somebody out. It's just, why take the risk if you can spend a little bit of time here and save a lot of time diving?
oh, don't forget the possible Cure 4. Because Cure 4, nuke into Cure 4 is a thing. And ooh, Sledge opting to disrespect the TFC room.
Yeah, anytime something these RSA hags roll something, roll a skill or a spell, it's not fun, because there's just so many of them. This pack is still unrunnable. Our developers have made some amazing advances and have figured out how to decouple the encounters. but that's still in the works. It's not ready yet for our spring tournament.
I still am just a fan of taking the heel helmet pickup for Sledge, but I'm still a fan of just the other original way they fixed it by just shuffling up which counts as certain things on that one. I believe they had a way to shuffle the B sides, so that way another thing was, we got the TFC check. Come on, something good. Pro Ring.
Pro Ring is nice, but you can buy it in a shop.
Yeah, but it's...
the Wizaheg pack has been unshuffleable, and speaking of...
Demon found an endgame weapon, and it's the one you don't like, but he'll go with it.
Well, if it'll kill chaos, it'll kill chaos. It just needs a little bit more, an extra bonk or two to get there. And there's a better endgame weapon.
I think we found his endgame weapons in the free chest too. Oh, yeah. Oh,
start to feel a little bad when he skips that sun sword, but
yeah, but Vorpal and Katana, basically the Katana is the Vorpal's big brother, so it'll be good. Yeah, he's in go mode except for ribbons, and he'll probably check Sky, hope for a ribbon, and grind if needed. I mean, he's got 3 people with nuke. We haven't seen Life 2, so we got to assume that rolled at a high level. And I think the Red Mage at most only gets 1 spell at level 7. Sorry, Red Wizard. So, and I think it's even that at the top slot too. If that's the top slot at level 7, and I don't think we've seen those, then that's the only way they're getting Life.
Well, Life 2, right? Because we already saw Life, and it wasn't. And well, then we can absolutely drop that Vorpal out of the window in Sky. There were some questions in chat as why you would drop it in Sky instead of throwing it in the volcano, and that's so that the there's a robot there, and you want to let him watch it float away too.
Well, in this case, I would not drop it. Not as a negative, but you have a Red Mage. The Red Mage can equip the Vorpal. Give him the Vorpal just in case. There is Saber available, and just because you do not have the access to Life, throw Saber on your Red Mage if you still have the slot for it. Immediately equip, on that stuff, and just hold 9 yards. Attack after throwing out what you can on defense. You've got Invis 2 and, Invis 2 Nuke, and with the Red Mage, at a high enough level, the Red Mage could outstrip Nuke just by using the Vorpal. And, Ribbon on the Mermaid side. So that's
absolutely.
A nice pickup for Sledge.
I mean, that's it. You would do all of that if you're playing to win. Of course, in the comms booth, I can sit here and beam instead. So, Ragnarok, you had it right that dem0nfr0g did reset out of the power bonk earlier. However, he went back and picked up the power bonk as well as went through the dwarf armory.
Yep, and as I said, I'm a fan. If I've got Massa, a Katana, if I'm running a Thief and the Vorpal, I'm equipping all 3. I'm equipping all 3 because, that Vorpal, despite the amount of damage you'd think it would get, throw that in the hands of a Red Mage, especially with Saber, or if you've got, if you find White Sword, you give that to the Black Mage, throw some charges, of Invis 2 on the whole party, Invis 2 from the, Red Mage, from the Red Wizard and the Black Wizard, and then just, Saber, while the others are, damaging up. It's just because the sheer amount of damage, it would be you are going to actually outstrip Nuke in that case of a Red Mage. And
you can if you do it long enough, but let's cut that discussion a little short as dem0nfr0g is pulling Kraken 1, throws out a fast, gets 4 hits for 93 damage from his knight. Kraken being nice with an ink, so a free turn.
5 hits, over 500 damage.
Yeah, so that I think was the Thief with the Katana doing that. So another 151, another 55. That Katana doing major work. Getting our fast out, getting a nuke from the Black Mage. Now that we've got everybody fasted up, That's swinging another 7 hits for 189, nuke for 308, and terminated. That Kraken is burnt and microwaved to bits. dem0nfr0g lights the second orb of this match, filling up that water orb.
I mean, he's got some serving utensils with him. Think he fed the party with Kraken?
Yeah, fair enough. And then dem0nfr0g, he does need a few levels. He could use a ribbon or two, but that's about all he's looking for. So we're a little over an hour in, so maybe we should think about doing a recap.
You care to, since you know more than I do?
That's all that experience tracking, and I'm going to refer back to our notes from our fabulous tracker, Ragnarok784, who has been tirelessly keeping track of everything so that we don't look like complete idiots up here.
I mean,
we're trying, but he's not letting us.
I mean, and by the way, Sledge is just about to pick up their Vorpal and their Katana, but basically, Canoe was early from the princess. I forget what the king gave us. Binky gave.
Well, the king gave us a bottle.
Yes.
Where I've got. So Bicky gave us the Oxyale. We found Nuke at level 1 in Canaria, which is obviously a big deal. The Volcano Armory had the canal. However, you wanted to dive deeper in that volcano because the incentive chest was a floater. Sledge found that out after dem0nfr0g had left, although Sledge did run into some issues with Carry 1 and White, while dem0nfr0g went and checked the Ruby, which was found from the Sages. The Titan's Trove had the slab, while Sarda had the loot.
And as I said, basically, Sarda, you basically went to go see an old, basically a retired musician. He gave you an autographed loot, and you went from there.
Yeah, and then we found when we went to add ordeals, we were disappointed to find the Thor hammer. However, there was adamant sitting just off to the side in a chest, so we picked that up, gave that to the blacksmith, and he turned it into a crowbar, as Magius likes to say, which is the rod for Earth, so a required item. Ice ended up having the cube, which was loose, and then in the incentive chest it had the herb, which we turned in for the TNT, which led us back to the power gauntlet. The crown was the vendor item in Gaia at 65,535 gold, turned into the tail. The fairy hat from that bottle the king gave us at the beginning gave us the crystal, which we returned to Matoya in exchange for her opal bracelet. So she's been making jewelry in her cave. And then finally, our last item, we took that slab from the Titan. Dr. Un taught us how to speak Lefanish, and we managed to get the magic key.
Okay, I got interrupted, weirdo. Demon just found X-Cow while checking for a ribbon. So, how do you distribute the weapons now? Still keep Massa on that knight, or do you swap over to X-Cow until you need Massa?
I do you could literally X-Cal on the knight up through Tier 2, with Massa probably on the red mage. Although Nuke level 1 makes that a little bit easier.
I mean, it's an option. I know. Oh, and Sledge just picking up their Massa. But I agree with you on throwing the Massa on like the red mage or... Oh god. If they didn't have Nuke level 1, I could see this. Vorpal on the Knight with the X-Cal. Knight with the X-Cal, the Ninja with the Katana, the red mage with the Vorpal, and give the black mage the Massa, and just hold A for the entire rest of the game.
Yeah, that level 1 nuke is the big kicker there, and probably that's why you have to think about what you want to put where.
Most definitely.
The X-Cal does attack those elemental weaknesses, and everything either that's not like super early, like imps, or is not chaos, and I believe Tiamat 2, that Excal is going to get bonus damage too. So up until then, it's probably just as well that you can let someone else hang on to Massa for that.
I mean, it's, as I said, it's one of those things. Just like it's just now demons in go mode, official go mode, for his own reason. Just found a ribbon.
Sky will provide. And not just that, he finds the dragon armor
in that same room. Yeah, official go mode. By official, I mean legitimately. Like, this is what the runner really wants, and opting to switch out that ribbon to what was that? The red mage?
Yes. So this is absolutely a smart play. He does need to go back and check that if he didn't check to see if he has life, but that gives him his curing magic is wearing an actual ribbon, and his knight is almost wearing a ribbon. Because with dragon armor, he gets fire, ice, and lightning resist. With the pro ring, he gets death resist, and with the Aegis shield, he gets earth poison resist. So he is.
And it's interrupted, but he also just found the flame armor, so that's good too.
Oh yeah, the ninja can put that on. So, sorry, the fighter doesn't have a pro ring at the moment. He has the power bonk, but I'm sure he will likely pick up a pro ring to move over to that fighter, and then he can choose, and then he can just keep the power bonk around for this casting item.
Yep, and Sledge just pulled carry. So let's see how they handle this. Attack. Going for some. I missed that one. Viz 2, fasting up that one. 3 hits, 88 damage. Viz 2 on the team. Also, I might add a lot of Catmen on Demon's side, tempering up that knight. Let's see, swinging. Going for some 1 Viz 2. Going for some fast on that knight. And ooh, carry. Kraken 2 still hits hard. And by the way, get your best RNGs in chat because Demon's on the Bridge of Destiny.
Yeah, we're spoiled for riches here. It's just Kraken 1, but Kraken 1 with stun touch. Stuns at 9.
Yep, and Demon on Tia 1 as well. So it's kind of hard to pick which fiend fight you want to call. You want to try to build the other one while I try to call Kraken?
Sure, go for it. We're getting fast up. We're doing 8 hits for 307 here on Tia 1. We're going melee
stat. Going out on that one, 150. Nuke again on Sledge's side.
Tiamat with some ineffective slows. That Black Wizard loses intelligence. I guess he's been hanging out with the fighter too much.
Also, Sledge managing to beat Kraken while Demon also does that. So
8 hits for 770 damage. Knocks out his third orb for by killing Tiamat. Sledge gets his first orb on the board, water. So Demon's got a full 2 orb lead, although they're and more importantly, Sledge is still missing that cube, so he still needs to dive ice and pick that up. Although he might decide to go earth first. Nope, looks like he took the left at Albuquerque and is headed over to Ice Cave.
Yep. Demon opting to not pick up the lump spell.
Yeah, he was nearby, and I'm sure he's checking for a life that he can learn on his Red Wizard. That's really the only safety that he's really missing at this point.
Did he check Anrak or Gaia?
Well, Gaia, he can't learn any of the white magic in Gaia, but he could learn one. There's one spell slot in OnRack that he might be able to learn. So we'll see if he goes back to look for that.
I mean, it's the top slot on that one, and I forget if Gaia is also level 7. It's counted as the bottom two, or that's counted as 8.
No, so OnRack has level 7 magic, and Gaia has both level 7 and 3 of the 4 slots for level 8.
Because I know the Fane's got the other one at. Ooh. That's something I wish that Demon had checked earlier. Sledge found a 3-eye grind tile.
Yeah, so this is one of the most lucrative spike tiles in the game, especially in terms of experience per second, which is more important than experience per fight. It's got good experience. These eyes typically have fairly low hit health, certainly relatively low starting health. This is why you didn't see dem0nfr0g go back to that iron goal, because it had between 250 and 500 hit points. And with these level 1 nukes, this is going to give you a lot of experience very quickly.
Very, very true.
And I think Sledge is listening to you, Rojo, because he did just put a sword on that red wizard. So Sledge is down to a 2-man party, but we'll see if I think this was just bad luck getting that black wizard knocked out.
Oh, and speaking of stuff, blinking it's gone. We missed the road bump, the speed bump, and opting to equip the Vorpal on that one because running low on spell charges. But eventually, you'll get to the point where you can one-shot the entire, this entire battle on that one. And I don't know what level their ninja is at, but with this
his ninja is like level 5.
Okay, then yeah, I don't fault him at all for this. Dwell the Vorpal on the red, on the red wizard, and just basically go to town. You'll pick up a lot of levels. You'll have that as your extra damage dealing thing, and basically just. I think the reason why you're not seeing them cast Nuke is they are out of charges, but grind to 32 and change, or maybe 28. I think 28's the break point on Massa, so I think he just got that. So, what are you hoping?
Yep, and he dropped down and took his took out that next grind tile. So let's hope he turns left and checks his Frosty, and he's going there. He is gonna get his cube, assuming he can get past all these wolves.
Did you see if he warped up to get the other thing? I don't remember. But
I do not believe he did.
Also, on Demon side, Brett Lich. Let's see, 4 hits, 255, and dead.
So we passed through the purple curtain. We're level 23. So we're on that outer edge of Topher levels and lighting our 4th orb. So we are ready, other than possibly levels. dem0nfr0g agrees. He's going to go in and pick up that iron goal spike tile, and he's going to level up here.
I mean, it's a decent battle. It's a single battle. You have Massa. You have legitimately Vorpal, Massa, and Katana. You're probably going to end up, this is what you just,
we're
attack,
using
attack,
though, because the attacks are not getting there, not doing a lot of damage, and it is 1 to 2 iron goals. It can be more than.
Very true, and it's also the whole fact of you're getting a lot of damage in there, and it's just like they're very good for EXP. They are very, very good for EXP. And
yeah, but our tracker pointing out that they're vulnerable to Lightning 3. However, Lightning 3 is at level 6, so we don't exactly have a large number of charges there.
Very true, and I don't know if they know whether or not it's vulnerable to Lightning 3 or not. But considering they have 3 party members of nuke, 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 until you're out of nukes, go outside, house up, go back in, nuke, nuke, nuke.
Well, with the levels you have, you're looking at like 7 or so charges at level 1 to start with. So that's, I mean, probably you don't go back in. You do this once until you're out of charges. I mean, he's level 25 on most of his characters now. So I mean, you're pretty much you're there in terms of levels. Although that extra 2 or 3 would be nice.
I'd say go to. I forget what the breakpoint is with Massa. It's either 24 to 8, something like that. I could see 28 because and Demon making a fool of me on that one, but I'd say hopefully.
The other thing that comes into those calculations of what level do you need is not just the breakpoint, but also the levels that you're going to gain going down through the Temple of Fiends. But you're talking about breakpoints. What do you mean by breakpoints? That was one of the things that I struggled with when I first joined this community.
Basically, breakpoints are the levels at which you should stop grinding. Usually, it's the levels where you would get like a certain number of hits with with whatever weapon you're using. In D&D terms, it's like when you would get another die to your attack roll. So essentially, when you got all those, you get to that level and you stop. Like it's usually like 6 to 8 to 10. So it's usually depending on how safe you want to be and depending on the enemies. You either go minimum 6, 8 at bare minimum is for a black belt, and 10 if you just want to basically be like, I do not want to leave Topher, or I do not want to actually reset at all. I'm just going to go in, hold A, and I don't have to pray because I'm going to literally hit you 10 times.
So dem0nfr0g, I think we played slightly different versions than Dungeons and Dragons, but it's certainly that extra hit. No, we're good, Shubinator. We'll if you want a more detailed explanation of the mechanics, we can set you up. If you want to check out our Discord, we certainly have a fantastic new player program that we call the Duckling Program. We have resources and links that have all of this stuff in there. Our trackers put the links in chat, so that's just a great time to shout that out. While dem0nfr0g makes it past the trap tile, he is diving the Temple of Fiends, and he is in a hurry. He must have dinner waiting or something, because he's going fast.
And Sledge picking up the crowbar. I call it the crowbar just because, honestly, it's got to be some way of prying up that tile, and a crowbar does pry up things, so as was pointing out, yes, different weapons do have different breakpoints on that one. I tend to just go with the whole go to 24 to 27/8. That's your sweet spot. If you're not sure, just go to 28 and you're usually covered. If you really are not sure, but anything like past 20, like 8 is only for the black belts most of the time.
Yeah, and Sledge, so I have to apologize, partner. I was slightly off. Sledge's ninja is level 6. He's not level 5, but I'm not sure that makes much of a difference.
Possibly increase the run chance,
about 27.
Even so, as I said, and Sledge picking up their Aegis Shield. As I said, my thoughts on it's like if you're unsure, except in a race situation, even in a race situation, if you're unsure, grinding. There's always an answer to everything, and it's called grinding. Sadly, but
fair enough. And if you're ever interested, you can start there, and then you can increase your knowledge and grind a little less, cut off those corners a little bit, and go a little bit faster. But dem0nfr0g, actually respecting Lich too, but just walks through the curtain again, is through the earth floor and is down to the fire floor, heading around the corner. Cremate or Grey Worms with Cremate, not doing a whole lot at this level, and he is going to be on to carry 2.
Yeah, I mean, this has been an amazing thing like that. Also, while you're shouting out the Discord, I'll also shout out, don't forget to follow our runners, dem0nfr0g and SledgeCalamy. They've been putting on an amazing race, and it's been quite interesting and fun to call it. And, carry 2 of Thunder.
Yeah, Thunder, one of those spells that's going to do damage to your whole party. Fires back with a nuke, though, and the nuke is stronger than that Thunderclap. Takes down carry 2. He manages to heal back up using his heal pots and is taking all 4 members down to the seafloor.
Which is very good considering, oh god, the Seafood Party Ladder the Seafood Party Ladder pack Try saying that 10 times fast.
Yep, we certainly have all these encounters in seafloor. One of the things that I didn't know was that the Temple of Fiends actually increases your encounter chance as you go down. So it's not just bad luck that you get all these encounters on seafloor. You're just more likely and more likely to get encounters. And dem0nfr0g is already full health. He just charges right into Kraken 2. He is in go mode. He must feel behind, probably because of that floater location.
Most likely. So fastening up and tempering up, and Invis 2 comes out. Let's see. Quad X from Kraken 2, invising up the whole party again with that knight. Fighting. Was that temper? Yep, temper. Nuke from the red mage, 184 damage. Fast from there on the knight. 3 hits, 116.
Yeah, we've got fast charges, so we're fasting with the knight and the ninja and swinging through for 318, knocking out Kraken 2.
That was a low roll.
So we made it through and healing up, topping off, and heading into Tiamat 2. So this is the last fighter here, or the last of our Fiend refights. And let's see how dem0nfr0g handles.
Looks like starting from the Viz 2. I think the red mace is also going in Viz 2. Fasting, the ninja fasting itself. The black mage fasting the ninja as well. Tempering up that ninja. Looks like going for the katana to push through here. 147 from Nuke. 8 hits, 272. Nuke again, 230. 98 damage on the black mage. 3 hits, 10 damage, I think, from the Masa. But 5 hits, 80-some damage, and Tia 2 is down. And
well, I think that was 5 hits for 38 was the killing blow on Tiamat 2, so he almost had down the hit before. But we are on to, well, after a brief pause for Worm.
Also, looks like Sledge lit their second orb if carry one and is in Earth and will be on their way to get to the orb from there. Also, orb.
Yep, Lich. So here we are, dem0nfr0g heading on to the Chaos floor. There are no encounters here. He's just going to heal up and get ready. So in chat, we have been mentioning, or I've seen some mentions of how fast dem0nfr0g is going. dem0nfr0g and Sledge are both experienced runners in this community. dem0nfr0g has just had a killer of a tournament. We'll call Chaos, but then we'll ask him about his journey so far as we get back. So casting in Viz 2, casting fast on the fighter first. So defense and buffing strats here. Chaos only 2 hits, and getting we're getting a temper out. So that was not a lot of damage for only 2 invis casts. So unless Chaos pulls out a bad spell and Ice 3 is not going to do it, dem0nfr0g is going to make short work of this.
dem0nfr0g's literally probably going to just swing out and just like I'm expecting at least 8 to 10 hits, unless Chaos will have a lot of absorb.
Yeah, well, and a lot of evade. So he's certainly got the he's putting a Cure 3 on that fighter just to make sure he hits that 400 threshold, which is the max damage a nuke can roll. Getting all those tempers out with all these casts going out, this fighter is gonna hit like a truck. Heck, he's gonna hit like a black belt.
I mean, I have seen a black belt. I mean, in vanilla, you can literally have a black belt hit for like 2k damage and 7 hits, 800.
7 hits, 835 with the crit. That is massive damage. That is about a third of Chaos's vanilla hit points. We can be up to a little over, or we can be up to 4,600 health, and we are not there.
And
GG's to dem0nfr0g. That was a low roll damage for Chaos. Only about 1,500 health. So
lower than normal.
Well, vanilla, he's at 2,000 hit points, so he rolled down a bit. dem0nfr0g has finished in first place. His official time is 1 hour, 27 minutes, and 16 seconds. And here he comes. We will get him into the booth here for an interview. And GG's, dem0nfr0g.
Thank you.
So what did you think of the seed?
You know, for Fire Week, I always like, you pound Volcano as quick as you can. You get there, it's an incentive, it's a thing. I'm like, you know what? I went against my gut, and my gut was right this one time that I didn't decide to follow it.
Well, you found the canal, and you already had the ruby, so that must have been really tempting to go turn that in and do everything else. All those little short, quick dungeons.
Yeah, so my thought was, I think I was level 8 or 9, and yeah, I had level 1 nuke, but all it would take was a sweeper anywhere along the way to take me. I just didn't feel like I had the HP to make a serious carry dive, and I did not want to go down just for the incentive, just to come back out. I said, all right, yeah, with Canal, with Canoe, there's so many things open that I didn't feel locked into needing to clear Volcano that second. And yeah, with Ruby and Anik, all right, let's go out and about and see what went on. Did Sledge kind of do the same thing? Because I feel like if you were able to get through Volcano then and there, that he could have pounded me with it.
He
Yeah,
did
certainly...
get through, but then wiped the carry.
Yeah, see that to me is scary, to clear the whole dungeon, get the floater, and then just get stomped by carry. So that's why I was like, all right, I got Canal. That opens up so many other things. The odds of this being what I need to get in the air is low. Let's go. Yeah, let's go do. I have warp. I have ordeals, and just pretty much. I mean, I last location incentive wise floater. So yay.
Yeah, we certainly saw some smart plays from you there. I'm always worried with the bottle and the slab that early. I think you had the slab 18 minutes in, and it's like, well, are you going to remember that you have both of these to, so that when you do get the floater, you go check them, but you're kind of forced to go back to Volcano at the end.
Yeah, and I mean it's unfortunate, but like if Sledge dove it and died, I feel pretty confident. I don't remember if Kira had anything in particular, but I just didn't feel comfortable. I got some levels, I got some gear. Man C was loaded.
Yeah, we did notice that, and we were mentioning that, like, okay, by the time you hit C, we're thinking, okay, you were in go mode, and we were going down the list of what you needed, and we said, oh, well, dem0nfr0g needs an endgame sword because he's only wielding an ice sword right now, and so you missed one thing. You missed the sun sword was in that first floor chest on the right side. We saw Sledge get that, and then yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, Vorpal and Katana, I'm okay with that. Mazza, I'm also okay with that. I think at that point I'm like, ribbon. I need a ribbon. Like, and brother needs a ribbon now. And so I kind of committed to essentially full clearing Sky. I was, even if I didn't get a ribbon in that one box, I was going to clear the Asterix room. It's good experience. It's not a lot of chests, but I also didn't feel great with my level. So, it's kind of you get some chests, you get some experience. It works out nicely. But Topher kind of rolled like pretty sheepish. I don't know that I needed to stop and do that Iron Gall, that 2 or 3 minute Iron Gall grind that I did, but
Yeah, certainly Chaos certainly had very few hit points. It almost felt a little bad watching you buff so high just to tear through him and his little ice twos.
yeah, with the percents being so high, Topher can roll, can swing really wildly one direction or the other. You can, just go through with a skip in your heart and a smile on your face, or you can hit a brick wall, and anywhere from carry on. That's kind of why I stopped to pick up a few more levels. I wanted to get the ninja. I wanted the ninja low 400s. I was conceited with like 398. I'm like, all right, that'll most likely survive a nuke if I need it to.
It's always the most
worst
likely.
case, Go ahead, Magus.
But I was agreeing with you. It's worst case, it's like whoever's got nuke on that one, and also worst case, just like it's you'll know how deep and what you have to save as far as heal pots go. But gotta ask, did you think about checking on rack to see if Life 2 was actually Red Wizard? But you had what? How many spells left to check? Like 5 to 6. So you had like a 1 in 6.
That probably would have been if I should have, but I didn't because by the time I was in the air, I was already felt like I was on my heels with floater being where almost certainly logically should have been, and I decided to put blinders on and go literally everywhere else. I was like, go, because I knew the shop item was in Gaia, and I was just going. It was just go.
Gotta go fast.
Yeah, it's certainly like how you went through the Temple of Fiends Revisited certainly looked like you felt like you were behind, and yeah, that finding last locationing floater is what made sense. We actually got a lot of compliments in the chat saying you do not look like you're a 1 in 3 player, and I didn't get a chance to bring this up on air, but I guess I'm going to ask you at this point about your tournament experience so far. I know you have not had an easy time of it.
I never seem to have an easy time of it.
I think a lot of us haven't.
Yeah, so I had CC first week. I mean, that's rough. Uriel was second week. He's a duckling, and I did take that. But then Specty is no joke. Sledge is no joke. I don't think Sledge is a 1 in 3 player either, and we're just both happen to kind of pair up against each other this week. It is what it is. It's
And then your other match was Ikben Maya.
Oh yeah, Ikben, yeah, and Ikben, he's got my number. I don't know what it is. He just knows what I'm gonna do, and he counters it nicely.
Well, and I think he won with like a 1:11 or something, so it was an incredibly fast time.
Oh yeah, the Ikben was I had I forget the exact circumstances, but I ended up having to go in the volcano 3 separate times, and by the time I was done that, it was just like fire sale. Everything must go. If it's not a chest, I need the check. It's not getting checked. And I just went in the Temple of Fiends, under level, under geared, and there happened to be I think Tia 2 was a bit beefy, and but yeah, I mean it is what it is. I'm 2 and 3 now. Got a chance to go 3 and 3 next week. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and if you make that 3 and 3, then you're in the last chance qualifier. So we could still be seeing you in the brackets, and I would not be surprised with your skill level.
And considering how much of a bloodbath that last chance qualifier is, I'll wish you luck. I think we're all wish you luck.
Oh yeah, last chance qualifier. That's going to be fun. With only one person making it out of that, people are going to be making all kinds of crazy gambles. 21 Topher, let's do this.
Oh, I've got to say, because apparently while we were doing that, apparently we had a Warmack sighting on Sledge's side. At least did we?
We did. He defeated our Lord and Savior, the Robot Chicken, heading up to level like 31 and 30 on his main characters, and is trying to light his 4th orb now.
I, for one, would have welcomed my Robot Overlord. I was desperate for experience at that point. I would have definitely taken him on if he showed up.
No, I don't blame you, and especially with having, level 1 nuke makes everything a little bit easier. So he gets through, Sledge lights his 4th orb. One major difference, although we saw you guys do the draft, you guys certainly handled this party composition a little bit differently. So Sledge put down his thief very early at level 6, while you ran a 4-man the whole way. I know that's not what a lot of runners are doing, so can you talk us through your decision making? Did you ever think about banning a character after the draft?
The thief I like for especially if Marsh ends up needing to be early. Also, like with with the thief was the reason I did all those mini dungeons. I had a good between the thief and the black mage. I had a good run chance. The thief is always on the table to go for a little nappy nap, but like nuke, fast, temper, saber, lock. I don't think there was anything I could have wanted. Levels 5 to 8. So the magic was too good to put the thief down, I think.
That's fair, and I guess we could rewind even one step further. So, draft, you started with Black Mage, and then you've told us a little bit about why you like the Thief. So, is there a reason you like Black Mage over Red Mage?
Last week I did Fighter Thief Red, and that locked me out of temper. And so I learned that lesson. And I went for the Black Mage, so you're guaranteed you're guaranteed all the Black Mage stuff, barring it being tail locked.
Right, and even in these flags, you're still likely to get tail or to need tail at some, or at least certainly be able to go find it.
Yeah, but I think my match, I think it was Ikben, tail was loose, and I didn't get it. There was a point in that match where I was staring on the possibility of having a dual token with a light axe, because I wasn't even have the sun sword till deep into that. But it guarantees fast, it guarantees temper, or just utility spells that are just too good not to have.
Yeah, even that one cast, even if you only end up with one cast of fast for chaos, it's still, it's still worthwhile. So I certainly can understand your reasoning there. So, Magius, you have some questions for dem0nfr0g?
No, I think you've covered a lot of them.
Sorry I took over a little bit, but...
Oh, no, go ahead. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. I don't mind, on the interview part, someone just, going for that, because I sometimes can't think of a question.
And so Sledge has made it into the Temple of Fiends, so dem0nfr0g, are you going to hang out and watch? Or I know Crab Cakes, your round 1 opponent, is fighting against Ganon's Gone Wild, I think, on Speed Gaming 4 right now, so...
I'll definitely hang out and share on Sledge.
Alright, well, we appreciate it, so... so I don't blame anyone for heading over there. We have a couple of simultaneous races. Those two are 3-1 at this point, and the winner will go to 4-1, I believe, and guarantee at least the play-in race, if not a shot at going straight into the brackets. But Ganon's Gone Wild has been playing out of his mind this tournament.
I've got to say, I'm looking forward to seeing if they are actually going to manage to broadcast the entire play-in race. I know as a community we've managed to do that, I think, once. But then again, that took all 4 Randomizer channels, and I think they even got Speed Gaming to host at least one of the 2 of them on top of that.
I think it's going to be, 4 4-man layouts is what we're going to have for the play-ins.
Well, let's see if we can get it again. I'm personally hoping I'll be on one of the calls for that one. And Sledge has pulled Lich 2.
And he takes care of Lich 2 pretty early. And just walks right on through the second curtain and is headed around the corner to carry. So runs into these worms. I think you ran into the same worms, dem0nfr0g? Or the gray worms with cremate?
I'm sorry, what was that?
I think you ran into the gray worms with cremate on your way through, but you might be on a
familiar.
He's either a little further into the encounter table or on a different step count. Because he got an Agama encounter there as well. So, did you power cycle?
I always power cycle before Topher, and then if something bad happens, I soft and take a shot at it again.
Yeah, especially things tend to happen later in Topher that are worse than things early, so that makes a lot of sense. And here we are on Carry 2. He's using some Invis 2 charges and striking out. Although Carry 2 must have basically min-rolled her health because she is down for the count, and we are on to the seafloor.
I think everything rolled down pretty significantly. I don't think anything was punch happy. I think I saw one like tornado or swirl or something of that description.
Yeah, you
Like,
saw
it was a
thunder
really
from
funny-
Carry 2.
That's what I knew. That's what it was. I knew it was something to that effect. I mean, nothing lives long enough to get really deep in its pool, so who knows where all the nasty stuff is.
Yeah, and so Lich had a few hit points, maybe vanilla or a little bit over, but it's Lich 2, so it's not all that important. And you certainly have the weapons to deal with it. And Sledge is on to Kraken 2, healing up to prepare for this fight.
I can't imagine Sledge is going to have any trouble with his levels. He looks like he's low 30s.
Yeah, his 3 characters that have been up most of the game are in the 30s, or 30, 31. So here comes our fast. Throwing out some spells here, and these nukes. So Kraken, that MDEF is putting in work. These nukes, 157, 143, but 2 swings for 400 each, and Kraken 2 is down, and we are through the first, not through the first open gate, I guess it is.
Sorry about that. Microphone dropped.
Yeah, there's the meme with the door with the lock and there's a Cheeto holding it shut. That's pretty much this entire Temple of Fiends.
That or just Sledge's party's level, just like I could just imagine the fighter just boot, just kicking in the door.
Yep, so we run into a rock goal fight and these guys are unrunnable, so just a couple more spell charges, and we are just one spell charge, and we're through that.
Oh
Is that level
no, kill the
33?
juicy experience rock goals. No, don't make
Yep.
me kill them.
Only level 33.
Yeah, it's only on the fighter. Let's see. Swing, and Viz to fasting that fighter. Let's see. 6 hits, 242 damage. So the ninja for not much. The 2 comes out for carry. Tia 2. Not much there. Let's see what you're doing. Sleds.
We're doing tempers or are we doing nukes? I guess we're doing a little of both.
Yep, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B on some of the stuff.
No, it was just nukes. And the ninja not able to hit for a lot of damage. Fighter gets through.
Yeah, that was a decent chunk of damage, and just about to head over to the chaos floor. Opting to go a bit of the longer way, but victory lap, of course.
Yeah, he's bouncing off the walls here. He's just happy to be down here and finishing it off this seed. So,
I mean, I can't blame him at all.
Prepping up for.
I can't blame him at all, and especially with the way the inventory worked out for them. This is one of the times where you just can't burn off items to move the heal pots over, so you try to keep them, least amount of movement size you can.
Oh, the bouncing off the walls was him driving, taking an extra couple of steps here and there. But here we go. Here's our chaos fight.
Nuke from the
Nuke and Viz from the fighter and Red Mage, but Nuke from the ninja.
Yep, and choosing to assed up is Knight. Let's see, Nuke from the Ninja, or like 200 change damage. Last one, that one, Invis 2. Let's see, I don't think is.
Yeah, his ninja is swinging now after using his 1 nuke charge. And we're getting Invis 2s from the fighter, we're getting some tempers out this time around, so.
Yep.
Yes.
Charge up, swing!
3 hits for 3 damage from that ninja, although his ninja is not nearly as high.
Yep, and also opting to lock 2, which again is very useful. 7 hits, 160 some damage. Chaos,
For 194.
Nuke for 172. Opting to swing.
Sledge is not getting nearly as many tempers on that fighter as dem0nfr0g did, but certainly getting all the little chips and dings out, and is going to take down Chaos before too long here. And here it happens this round. Yep, terminated. GG SledgeCalamy.
Very good.
With an official time of 1 hour, 48 minutes, and 43 seconds. And we will see if Sledge is interested in an interview here.
Very, very true.
And it looks like he will be coming in, so we'll get him here into the booth in just a minute. So, right, and so I will take this moment to once again plug our Final Fantasy Randomizer Discord. We have, right, that's where we're setting up all these races, arranging these tournaments. We can help you get started with it. We're a very, new player-friendly community, and just come on in. The water's fine. Join our Duckling program, which is, they're just getting your feet wet and figuring out how to do everything.
I mean, not only that, but you also have the, the tournament, though it stopped for now, but they used to actually do weekly seeds for the Ducklings.
Yeah, and we've had weekly seeds the past couple of weeks, and we will have them again shortly. Like we said, we've got 1 more week of Swiss, and then we're into our playoff stuff for this tournament. So here is Sledge, and let me bring him. And GG's, Sledge.
GG's.
GG, dude.
And we'll give you a second to get your mic stuff figured out.
Sorry, yeah, I didn't notice my mic was off.
It happens. GG.
GG to you too, B-Frog.
Thank you.
So, we have a couple questions for you, Sledge. So,
I know.
well,
go ahead.
Well, I guess we could start off with just, so what did you think? What's going through your head right now?
How did that ninja survive?
Luck, maybe? I mean, apparently it basically, dodged behind the fighter, shoved them in front of them, and just basically let the fighter take all the damage.
Yeah, well, it's because I wanted to use it for his nuke charges, that's why I put it in the second charge. But still, I was expecting him to die way earlier. And Topher.
Yeah,
I've seen level 1 survive there.
It was such a kitten of a Topher that...
I'm going to use him in Topher just for nuke charges and also for running percentage. Okay, he's surviving. He's actually doing damage. What's going on?
He's actually gaining levels. I think he
Yeah.
did at least 100 damage on Chaos. I thought I saw at least at one point where he got
167.
at least he did some damage on Chaos, apart from the nuke.
Exactly.
I mean, it would have probably laughed worse if he'd actually got the final hit on him.
It would have been
I think
hilarious.
about the shake and bake commercials where there's a little girl who's like 4 or 5 years old. It's like, and I help.
And that first run into Terry was scary.
Yeah, we noticed you found your floater, so that was one of the major differences between the two of you in this race, where dem0nfr0g found the canal and went to go turn in the ruby directly, so did not come back to the floater, and actually last location the floater.
Ouch. Yet he still had a lead on me, as it seems.
Yeah, I just didn't feel like I had the oomph to take carry, and the canal with the canoe opens up so much. I was like, yeah, let's go somewhere else, and we'll come back here when we have a few more levels and feel a little more confident.
I just had that. I just had that key item in the back of my mind, and I'm like, I can't leave without it.
It was super tempting if one of the grind tiles on B2 ended up being decent. I actually took a couple of houses for the express purpose of, oh, I found a good grind tile and a level 1 nuke.
Same
Let's
here.
get some levels, exit out, house up, and then go deeper, but neither of the tiles ended up being good, so I was like, alright, I'm gonna bounce.
Did you think about checking Earth's tiles when you were by there?
I did. I saved, dropped a tent, and was like, alright, do I go south or do I had a really existential crisis of which way do I go? Said no, let's go, we got too much else we can check before this.
But that trap tile in Ice Cavern.
Yeah,
That.
yeah.
So I don't think dem0nfr0g saw that. So they're talking about the trap tile for that one chest on the right side.
Yeah, I bypassed that. Yep.
Triple Y's.
Oh,
Triple
third eye
Y's.
grind. Alright, that's pretty good. It's probably better than my Iron Gall tile.
And I think Sledge didn't get that one, so I'm gonna let him in.
No,
1 to 2 Iron Gall in Northwest. I checked it at one point, and kind of put that in the back of my head of, break glass in case of emergency.
Yeah, I think dem0nfr0g turned his crown into Astos to get the tail, checked all the traps, the spike tiles as well as the treasure chest down there, and then left to go promote. And we're like, oh, that's really smart to go promote
Don't
at
know.
like level 15, 16.
I'm surprised neither of you checked Topher's chest on that one since you were by there, a few times here and there after having the key.
it's 3 chests, and the density to go back wasn't that appealing. I was going to where it was incentivized key items. That was my main focus.
If
Chest
I
density.
was ribbonless or still searching for a loose or needed a good grind tile, those are open. But I had a ribbon. I kind of committed to the Iron Gall, so I just let it go.
Where'd you get your ribbon?
Sky. Which one is it?
3.
The one with the window. 3. Yeah.
Okay. I got mine off Mermaids.
Oh, so C was like extra loaded because it had Mazza, Vorpal,
Oh,
Katana,
yeah.
something else.
Ribbon on Mermaid side. I know Sky
And the
had
Sun
Dragon
Sword.
Armor for you.
Dragon Armor was by his ribbon in Sky.
Yep.
And Topher was relatively easy.
I mean, when the game gives you a good dungeon with all the stuff, it's like it gives you the dungeon with all the stuff.
Yeah, that it does.
Okay. Well, great job, guys. It was a great race. It was fun to be here and fun to watch it. So, do we want to start to wrap up and think about final thoughts here? Maybe Sledge, you want to go first?
Not much. I actually said what happened with my ninja.
And then I guess dem0nfr0g?
I'm looking forward to Chaos Week. No more incentivized dungeons. You have to dig up an extra loose. It's gonna be fun.
Clear everything. Clear all the things.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
And then we've got our runners linked in chat, so dem0nfr0g and Sledge. I know you guys both run both this and some other things too, so check these guys out. We also have, our team here to put on the broadcast, so we have Magius. He put all of our links there, so Magius, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking last final thoughts is just like, even with the the 1 and 3s, 1 and 4s, just like even the 2 and 3s, for all this, it's just like there are a lot of good runners that are just like this shows how much the community has grown to where we have like a lot of good runners that have just like lost by the tiniest bit, or literally murderous row, or just those kind of stuff like that. There's been a lot of close matches.
Yeah, so absolutely, I have to agree with that. This spring tournament has been fantastic so far, and we've got one more round of splits, so it should be a little bit crazier and always a little bit more fun. We also want to thank Randomizer for hosting us tonight. We wouldn't be able to put on these broadcasts and have this sort of audience and without them, and I know they put on a lot of stuff, and they've been great help to us. I also want to make sure we thank our tracker once more, Ragnarok784, keeping track of everything, keep pushing all the buttons, and making sure we don't look nearly as bad as we deserve.
Yeah.
And then finally, it's Math Girl, who is well known throughout these communities, has been stepping in to help us restream, and we are very grateful for that. And with that, I guess I will sign us off. This is G Weirdo for the Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament.
Night all.